that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be truly acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. I thank you for your grace and your mercy, Father. I thank you for trusting me behind this sacred desk. And I thank the Reverend Bradley, Father, for placing me here, Father, and trusting me here, Father, in the name of Jesus. Yes. I thank you. Yes. I thank you, and I thank you. Yes. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I love how God operates and how we are on one accord. Reverend James, on last week, she spoke on we shouldn't ignore the signs and how God used a donkey to speak to his own people, to one of his people. And we are so much like Balaam and like Moses. God will show us, lead us, and even use a donkey to tell us what to do or not to do. But when he says rest, and that he's got it, let us rest, assured that he does. Amen. My text comes from Exodus 33:14. And he said, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. That's in the New King James Version. In the beginning of this chapter, Moses is commanded to leave Sinai and to go to the land of milk and honey. Even though we know that they were stiff-necked people, they eventually listened to Moses. Also, Moses, there, he meets with the Lord. And that is where Moses starts questioning the Lord. I did what you told me to do, and you still haven't told me who you will send with me. Moses sounds like us, doesn't he? Always in a rush for answers, or feel that we can do it ourselves instead of waiting on God. And just letting his presence go before us so we can rest. That's the title of my message. Rest. Rest, according to Webster's dictionary, primarily means to cease from action or motion, refrain from labor or exertion, or to sleep or lie down. It also refers to a state of freedom from anxiety and a pause in work. In other words, it just means to just stop what you're doing and just stay still. Amen. In the biblical sense, rest signifies far more than physical sleep. It is a spiritual state of peace, trust, and reliance on God. Yes. God trusted Moses to lead his people and obey his commands so they can make it to the promised land. But did Moses trust God enough? Was he at peace with God's instructions? And did he fully rely on God? I look at rest different now. Yes, we are to slow down our bodies so we don't overexert ourselves or even get sick. But to me, rest means, well, let's start with the letter R. R is for repose or stillness. It could even mean rejoice. Repose means to be free of any disturbance. In Mark 1:35, it reads, now in the morning, having risen a long while before daylight, he went out and departed to a solitary place, and there he prayed. How many times have we said to ourselves, if I can just get up before the rest of the house does, it'll be nice and quiet, it'll be all dark, and I can spend some quiet time with God. Jesus knew the importance of stealing away from the crowd and his disciples to just slow down and pray. And that is where he got his rest and peace. I know that when I do, I'm not sure about you guys, that my day is so much better when I have laid it all down before the Lord. Amen. But let's not get it twisted either. There have been numerous times when the enemy was so mad at me for spending time with God and interceding for his people, he didn't waste any time. But I recognize the tricks of the enemy real quick. And I have learned to just stop and reposition myself and get in prayer. Amen. And then I start rejoicing, because that really confuses the enemy. Like, how in the world is she rejoicing? Praising when all hell is breaking loose at her job, her home, her family, even her finances. Because I know that Jesus said, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you. E is for examine It involves self-reflection. In 2 Corinthians 13:5, it says to examine yourselves as to whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. Do you not know yourselves that Jesus Christ is in you, unless indeed you are disqualified? We should always be examining ourselves. The goal is not self-condemnation, but rather reveal areas needing growth, change, and alignment with God's will. S is for silence, which means complete absence of sound. Silence can be deafening, yet it often carries a profound depth that words cannot convey. How many of us can just sit there and be just quiet? 30 seconds, a minute, and then all of a sudden, oh shoot, did I do this? Let me, where's your phone? Like complete silence, like nothing. In moments of quiet, there lies an unspoken dialogue, a tapestry of emotions woven into the stillness. We've all heard the term, silence is golden. It is often better, wiser, or more respectful to just remain silent than to speak. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." There were so many times when I wanted to speak or even defend myself, defend my character, defend a position, but God reminded me, just keep silent. Don't say a word. He would say, "I have you, my daughter." Psalm 62:1 and 2, "Truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved." We don't have to defend ourselves all the time. Just be still long enough in his presence, and he will go before us and fight our battles so that we may be able to rest. Silence is the sign of faith and submission to God's justice, exemplified by Jesus' silence before his accusers. Matthew 26:63. It highlights that strength is found in quietness and in trust. Isaiah 30:15, which leads me to the last letter of rest. T is for trust. In the dictionary, it means to place confidence in or depend on or to expect with confidence. In the Bible, trust is defined as an active, bold reliance on God's character, power, and promises. Unlike mere intellectual belief, biblical trust is a firm belief that manifests as action. It is the practical consequence of faith. Trusting God refers to complete resilience. Trusting God often involves letting go of control. Accepting that not everything can be managed by us. We always want to have our hands in it. We can't. Trusting God often involves patience during hardships. Believing difficulties have meaning or purpose. Trusting God often involves hope and perseverance. That means continuing forward even when outcomes are unclear. We don't have to know it all. We don't need to see it all. Just continue to operate in our spiritual eyes. We'll be good. Trusting God often involves inner peace. Feeling supported by faith rather than overwhelmed by fear. And this ain't nothing but God. That Sunday school lesson tied into this. I just love how God operates. Primary promises of trust. It gives us direction and clarity. Proverbs 3:5 and 6. He said, God promises to make your path straight when you trust him wholeheartedly instead of relying on our own understanding. Another primary promise of trust, it gives us perfect peace. A steadfast mind that trusts in the Lord is promised perfect peace. It also, another promise, God promises never to leave or forsake those who trust him, enduring his presence wherever you go. Just like he told Moses, my presence will go. Security and protection. He is described as a shield and refuge for those who take shelter in him. And lastly, strength and help. Trusting in God brings the promise of his strength to uphold you, especially during difficult times. When my granddaughter was born, I played this Christian song to her, and it's in Spanish, so I had to look up the words. And the lyrics are real simple. It just says, I lift up my hands even when my strength is failing. I lift up my hands to you even when my life is troubled. When I lift up my hands, I begin to feel your spirit that moves me to sing. When I lift up my hands, I begin to feel a fire burning within me. When I lift up my hands, my burdens are gone. You give me the strength that I need. Lord, anything is possible. Anything is possible when I lift up my hands to you. And just like God told Moses, my presence will go with you, and I will give you